All right, so this morning we're gonna mount a deer head and we're not gonna put it in fast motion. I've had several requests to mount deer heads and just do it in real time, just so people can kind of learn from it a little bit, just take a look at what I'm doing. And I have no problem with that. The only reason I was even putting them in fast motion was because I was afraid people would get bored just sitting there watching them, but a lot of my customers like having the video on there of their deer mounted. So I may just start doing some recording without putting them in fast motion, and we'll just kind of see how that goes. If y'all like it, y'all let me know. We'll come up with something. But this way, at least while I'm mounting it, we can sit here and shoot the bull, and I can just talk to y'all about whatever I'm thinking. I can't play music because it will be copyrighted. So we're just going to have to sit here and just talk. And I'm going to start getting some eyeballs ready, get some clay. We're going to start putting this thing together. Somebody cranking up the tractor out there. If y'all ever watch any of my videos where I don't have music behind my videos, somebody is probably on a tractor. One eyeball. Dropped one of these eyeballs the other day and broke it. It's the first time in 10 years I've ever broken one of my glass eyes. So now I have one eyeball over there that does not have a match to it. I guess one of these days I'm sure I'll get to mount a one-eyed deer, and that's going to really come in handy. If y'all have ever watched any of my how-to videos, you know that I don't spend a whole lot of time on clay work. You're going to smear this stuff all over the place when you try to put the deer together. At least I do, because I like to go fast. And it can always be fixed after the fact. All right, let's get some glue. We're getting into about the end of October. Today's the 20th, whenever y'all are watching this video of October. We've got muzzleloader season coming up in a couple of weeks. And really trying to get done with all of these things before muzzleloader season opens, because I'm really wanting to get in the woods and do some muzzleloader hunting. I've got some good deer on camera that I need to tend to with my muzzleloader. I've got this deer and I've got 3 more from last season, and I'll be done. I was hoping I was going to beat October getting these things finished, but I kept having deer brought to me, so I couldn't ever quite get caught completely up. Like I'd mount one and get 2. But I ain't gonna complain about that. That's a good problem to have. Something else, guys, I haven't even mentioned yet is that I did finally hit 10,000 subscribers, which I guess y'all probably noticed if you opened up my channel page, but really want to thank y'all for the subscriptions and for the views. I wouldn't have in a million years thought I would have hit 10,000 subscribers. I actually got a notification on Facebook the other day. One of my memories popped up, and the same day last year, I think it was about 3 days ago, I had just hit, I think it was 2,500 subscribers or 2,000 subscribers, something like that, 1 year ago. So as of right now, I'm up 8,200 subscribers year to date. So that's pretty cool. Very happy about that. I want to thank y'all a lot. Alrighty. See if this skin will fit on here. It's a lot of skin. This is a Missouri buck. Long-haired dude. Don't have just a giant neck on him, but he is a big deer. Get that incision back passed over the back of the head right there. Stand this sucker up. Usually you can pull it into place. Something to remember when you're pulling your cape into place like this, try not to do a whole lot of twisting. If you do twist it, try to adjust the cape back to where all the hair is going the right direction. Because when you twist like that, every time that leather gets a little bit of a twist in it or a different direction, then that hair has also got a different direction. And when it dries, it's going to be pointing all different ways. Don't seem like it'd make that big a difference, but it really, really does. Time that thing starts drying up. All right, I think that's going to fit just about perfect. It's a very interesting rack. It lays back a whole lot further than most of them do. It's got a crazy angle to it. Of course, this brow tine is right in my way. There we go. Skull was cut a little bit strange when they cut it up there in Missouri, but what I had to do is cut some off the back of that, cut some off the bottom of it, leave a little bit extra on the front, because that measurement between the eye and the base of that antler was way off when I raised it up, even with this form. And that's, you'll have to watch on some of these forms too. Depending on the form versus the deer that it comes off of, even though this skull matches the form, it should be raised up about a ½ inch for that to actually match. This measurement would be too long based on where the eyes and the antlers actually meet. So you would end up with, you know, a messed up mount. And you can see a mess pretty far down in there, but what I'm gonna have to do is just transition that with some modeling clay to where that smooths right back out with the top of that head, and then your antler bases will be in the perfect spot. See how you just sculpt that right along with the head there, right into that skull. Now you've got that smooth transition that just goes right over the top of the head. But like I said, that distance right there has got to stay right, or your skin's not going to want to line up correctly. You don't want to really have to make it work. It's better if it just matches. A lot easier to work with. Put a little glue on there and get the hide pulled on up. A little too much. You want those antler burrs to be as thin as possible along that hairline so that they don't shrink too awful much, or you're going to end up with gaps down below the bases of your antlers. So y'all probably noticed on here, one thing that I like to do is put a little bit of clay all the way up, right up into that burr. When you go to put your skin up around the burr of that antler, you can take a tucking tool and press it in up under that burr, and it'll give it a little spot right there that'll hold it in place between the clay. All right. Let's see how our fit looks here. So a little room to work. Right there with the tear duct. Everything's looks like it's just perfect. It's always a good feeling. I know for a fact that y'all aren't going to want to sit here and watch me stitch this entire deer up. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all want to see how I stitch this thing up. I've showed on several videos before how to do it. It can be just a little bit boring. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show y'all how I stitch this V up. And then once I get to my back seam, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the camera off. We're going to skip all of that time so y'all don't have to sit here and be bored. Probably end up skipping it yourself anyway. Of course, correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes people like to see this stuff. If y'all want me to leave it on here, on the next one I will. Get this tied up. We'll go ahead and add the rest of our clay into our ears. I already put clay in the ears when I had the cape over there on the table after I put the ear liners in. Get them shaped up, general shape they need to be, and pretty much now all we have to do is just attach them to the head. See, there's a little bit of slack in there. We're just going to have to fill that in. Then we're going to have to tuck our skin around the bases there, get it worked back up around the antlers. Before you start adding your clay to your ears, if you go in with a little bit of a plan of how you want the ears to look, you can go ahead and get the clay shaped correctly before you get it all put together. It's going to make it a lot easier on you when you're going to stitch this thing up, getting it all put together. We've already got pretty much the general shape that we want. All we're going to have to do now is just stitch it on up and then position the ears. Once we get it completely done, we'll get them shaped, just how we want them. Okay, now before we stitch them up, take a little bit of glue, put up in there, make sure we got the top glued down where we just did our stitches. I don't like to glue it as I'm trying to stitch because it's so nasty, you get glue all over the place. There we go. All right, get them stitched on up. Work on the eyes and the nose. And go ahead and tuck the nose. We've already got glue on it inside the nostrils here. All right, we're gonna get these eyes tucked now, and y'all can see on the back right here that eye skin has been cut off, missing a little bit, which is okay. As long as you're using good hide paste, it'll still glue those eyes down pretty good. What I would recommend doing though, if you have to do that, I would come back every day for the first 3 or 4 days at least and check on that eye, make sure that it's still pressed up against there firm, and as it starts to dry. Once it dries to a certain point, it shouldn't go anywhere, but if it tries to move and you don't notice it and it dries up, then it's just there. Ain't nothing you can do after that. Now we're going to go ahead and staple up the brisket. Get it flipped over here. Now we're going to work on the ears. Get them in position here. Customer wants the ears back. So that's what we're going to work on. Make sure you get all that excess glue out of there and any air that's in there, because if you don't, those ears will drum. And if you're using these ear liners that I use, they're really dark pink. So if you get that ear skin good and flat on that ear liner like it's supposed to be, the pink will show through that once it starts to dry. And you don't even have to do any airbrushing on that inner ear. Few wrinkles in here, and I think this will be just about ready to start drying. Let's take a look at what we got here. He's got a lot of drying to do. A little bit of detail stuff around the face. Some of this you can see the face is going to be a little bit loose. It's going to almost look like it has pockets of air in it. See that right there? That air is. I'll have to go in here about the next 10 minutes. I'll spend a little bit of time working on this thing, getting all the air out of it, getting all that glue, you know, smoothed out, make sure it's got good contact with that form, because you don't want that cape, you don't want it to dry away from that form. That glue will dry against the back side of that leather and it will drum just like the ears or anything else. So you want to make sure all that's making really good contact. If you have to, if you have a little bit of air in there like that, you can take a scalpel or a little pin or needle and poke you a little tiny hole in it and work that air out. It does just fine and it won't show up as long as you make the hole small enough. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to do that one. And appreciate y'all watching. If y'all want any merchandise like the shirt, y'all go down there to my spread shop and buy you a shirt or a sticker or whatever. Amazon store should be listed in the description below, along with my JX3 CRC5 code. So if y'all want anything from JX3, y'all use my code to get 5% off. Guys, really appreciate y'all watching. We'll see y'all in the next video.